everybody. This is Derek. He has been doing some prospecting on LinkedIn, and he's been really crushing it. He's been getting quite a few appointments. He was showing me his calendar. He was showing me a little bit about what he was doing, and he's been closing deals off of it. And so I know a lot of people are wondering how to get more appointments in general with qualified prospects. And then especially a lot of people are wondering and have even tried to do it with LinkedIn. So Derek is going to share with us what he's doing, how it's working, and how you can do it too. So Derek, you want to just give a quick introduction to yourself and we can jump in here?
Yeah, right on. Hey, fellas, appreciate your time today. So I started this about 4 months ago, really had not a lot to show for it. Came out of the corporate world and just wanted to do something for myself. And got turned on and really started to hit it off with LinkedIn and just getting the calendar full, having the sales appointments so that I could close business and make this sustainable for myself. And so I'll just cover that process. I broke it into 6 steps. I'll just peel through it. Any questions, by all means, feel free to raise hand. And Brett, if you could just kind of keep an eye on that. I got a couple of parts in there where we can work examples. If you guys got something that you want to talk about, or use a case as an example, we'll do that. Just because that's the best learning is when it's actually practical. And that's it. I say we jump at it.
Awesome. Yep, that's perfect.
Okay, I'm gonna share. And okay. How to schedule 10 plus sales appointments per week without any advertising costs. You guys able to see it okay?
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay. So it is, I think, why this training is important. It's just really easy to be a marketing agency these days, and it's really hard enough to get enough clients to make a real income. You know, the barrier to entry is so low, and it's really saturated. And I think for lots of guys who get into this, it's really easy to be busy on lots of things that aren't producing income. And it's really, really easy to spend money on another coach or another system or another process that you don't implement. And so I think that's why this is relevant. And why you think you should listen to me? I say don't. I say test everything I say. I'm just a normal guy who runs a digital agency that sucked at Facebook ads, and that's how I met Brett. But I got really good at LinkedIn prospecting, and that's made a huge change in my business. And it's something that it's not rocket science. So this is May 6th through the 12th. One appointment is what I had. And that was, unfortunately, that was 3 months of things leading up to that, right? February was blank. March was blank. April was blank. I mean, nothing. And that's my real calendar, right? Yeah, painful. And I was trying a whole bunch of stuff. I was cold calling on tow companies. I was cold emailing. I was doing personalized videos. I hired a freelance cold caller from Pakistan who spoke British really well. I built a webinar at a webinar that led in, which got me the results that you see below. 2 sales calls. They were coming in really expensive, so I kind of disregarded it. And I was pounding my warm market. But then something finally started to change. And so the green ones here are, I just color coded them. So those are actual discovery calls. So those are something or an appointment that somebody had scheduled with me. So we got 6 of them in here a month ago. The same one, a couple more, 6 call, right? I was on vacation that week, came back. I came back this week empty. Nothing on my calendar, and filled up with 9 that exact week. Week after that, it's been 12. So just remarkable from what it's done for my own confidence, learning how to sell, but makes it really viable that I can stay in and doing this business. Okay. So I like to think of myself as a mini ninja on LinkedIn. Okay. And I'm going to share with you what I've learned during that time, guys. Something you can implement yourself. If you don't know Sam, Christian, TC, are you guys on LinkedIn? Do you know it? Use it as a platform?
Yeah, I actually use it a lot. So That's I've been doing a lot with it the past months, and it's working amazing. So that's, I was curious if it's the
Yep.
same thing you're doing, but I'm not sure yet. But
Yeah,
I'm
fair.
pretty sure it might be. So I just wanted to jump
Yeah.
in because Brett sent me the email, but I'll let you
Yeah,
take
right.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I heard from LinkedIn. I haven't used it yet.
Okay.
I know we've got, I know Christian and Gavin have both been using LinkedIn to generate leads. So we've got that, and I've done it before.
Yep, right on. Okay, why LinkedIn? 500 million people, average salary is 108,000, so it's not Facebook. It really allows you to profile business. You can see in many cases the people who actually work there, so you can get the right point of entry. The access to people is just absolutely unbelievable. I liken it to modern door knocking, right? Sales at the end of the day is a numbers game, and this allows you to knock on 100 digital doors and get the same results as knocking on 100 physical doors. And I think the greatest thing is it's because it's not very easy to use. It's not polluted by marketers yet, right? It hasn't been poisoned, and so for the time being, it's working extremely well. And your ideal customers are here, right? These are anybody in the industry that you're targeting. They're on LinkedIn in some capacity, so they're out there. Okay. So if any of this stuff is you, right? If you've got no real process, if you're wasting time on strategies that don't work, if you're trying to scale and really generating those clients on tap, it comes down to sales calls. And if you guys aren't getting them, you can't be adding new business, and that's just the bottom line. Tell us, okay? Okay, so what I learned to generate 10 plus sales conversations a week. Okay, it's going to be these 6 things: profile, research, messaging, connect kindly, welcome, and then follow up. And we're going to go through each of those 6 now. Okay. All right. Step 1 is create a killer profile. Okay. So here's an example of mine. Most people use LinkedIn as an online resume, and that's fine when you're looking for a job, right? But you see employment history, you see some of the accomplishments on there, the resume bullet type. You can see the chronology of where people have worked and when. That's a huge mistake because it really allows you to position yourself as an authority. As an example, I just recently made a change to this. I had spelled mortgage wrong. I had a woman reach out to me that I had connected to and said, "Hey, you spelled mortgage wrong." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot," right? And then she books herself a call because she went there and she read my profile. I got off the call an hour before this one. Okay.
Wow.
So you want to position yourself as an expert, okay? Because the people you connect with, they will look at this, they will read this. And this is really the start of your sales process. And this doesn't sell them, right? Nobody's going to read your resume and then, or your online profile and come with a check, right? But you will get ruled out because of this, okay? That's kind of the extreme. And so don't make the mistake of using it as an online resume. Okay, so here are a couple of the pieces that you got to take care of, right? Put a nice banner image on the back. It doesn't have to be fancy. It's just something that's clean. Don't leave the generic one. Give yourself a professional headshot or where you're doing something. This is me emceeing an event in my local area, but it just having a microphone, you can see that I'm clearly speaking, right? It gives yourself the air of some type of authority. If you don't have a picture, that's a professional headshot type, okay? There's 2 boxes for the name. The third one down, it tells you you want to utilize both of them. It says as you're doing the actual profile update itself, it says first name and last name. I tucked my first and last name into the first name so that in the last name box, I was able to put mortgage customers. We just bring them to you. That's my USP, and that's what I represent. But now, as opposed to just having my name, people already know what it is that I stand for, what it is that I can do for them. Okay. Use your headline. So this would just like a sales letter. If you guys have written a sales letter, right? The subheadline bullets that are underneath, right? Establish some type of curiosity or benefit. So you're starting the conversation. That's right away. And then your profile section this is your big why. This is why it is that you're in the business that you're doing. These are examples of client results. And so you start the pre-framing in the conversation about what people expect from a digital agency professional like yourself. All here. Okay. Right. Bottom line is, the conclusion on this is, find someone who's got an awesome profile and just copy their techniques, right? Don't copy their words, but just find somebody who's already doing this, and then just find a couple, put the things that you like, and go ahead and copy that, okay? Any questions on that? Boom, moving out. Okay, step 2, laser focus on your target market. Okay, so some digital agencies do all things. They're trying to be all things to all people. And I would really challenge you guys hard. And some of that just feels necessary when you're getting started. You're just trying to serve a bunch of people. But it really allows you to understand the nuances of the industries that you serve when you pick one and focus on it. You know their challenges, you know their hurdles, you know their pain, you know how they make money, you know how much money that they make. As an example, the lady I talked to this morning told me that she closes 2 loans per month. I know that she makes 60 grand because of the area that she lives in, right? She's not right for my services, but I don't even have to go down the line of questioning because I already know where it is that she's at because I know the mortgage industry. So you really want to focus on who it is that you can serve best, okay? Couple different elements of your ideal target market. One is they got to have the ability to pay. I made the mistake of going after tow companies when I first started because of the part of the agency package that I bought in. That's something that they had set up as an introductory one. And I found myself having conversations with guys who are doing transactions that are $50 and $75. And so when I'm trying to represent value in my services at that price point, like it was a waste of my time, right? It was a horrible. So there's got to be some customer value there, and there's plenty of service industries out there that have it. Okay, there's got to be a large need. Just because they have the ability to pay, they got to be able to have a need. And then the last piece of that is you got to be able to get a result for them, right? So those are really the 3 areas of your ideal target market. It allows you to focus. It allows all your messaging, all your emails, your website, all your communication on LinkedIn or in your advertising to focus in that way. And it's just really you're hitting people in a multi-channel way that's really starts to compound. Okay, as an example of that, so here's a roofing example. So this is a picture of inside LinkedIn. It's a sales navigator. And if you're not using LinkedIn, you can get your first month free inside the sales navigator. But what this is there's 7,673 results for the keyword is roofing. You can see over there on the left-hand side for the geography of in the United States who have the title of owner. So these are roofing company owners, 7,673 of them. And you get access to all 7,673 of them, the ability to access all 7,673 of them inside of LinkedIn. Okay, so without having to, if you've ever you're on Google, right, and you're looking up roofing companies in Houston or Los Angeles or Seattle, pulling them off, trying to find or pull their information. Here's the direct access to them, which is pretty amazingly powerful. Okay, so it's a great tool. It is a paid service, and here's that of those 7,700. For example, you can see right there, Eric Oberempt of DMN Roofing in Omaha and One Stop Roofing in Houston. Okay, so you can find and get direct access to these people on just an unprecedented level, all in one spot. That's why LinkedIn is so powerful for that, and why it's so important to have one vertical. Because if you're just broad brushing this, it would be really difficult to do in any way that's systematic. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and on that real quick, like with the picking a vertical, even if you work in multiple industries, when you do your LinkedIn, you want to do one at a time. So even if you work in quite a few industries, you want to pick one and make that your LinkedIn industry, so that you can optimize your profile for it, you can optimize your messaging for it, and obviously you can do the searches and everything for that one industry. So maybe you've got a few different industries that you work in. You just want to pick one of them that that you know you can get good results for, and that you fits the criteria that Derek outlined, that you can really dial in your LinkedIn system for. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So Sam, what's an industry you target? Have you narrowed it down to one?
Yeah, I'm actually targeting a few.
Okay.
One of them is, I'm actually new. I just started a agency about 2 months ago,
Yep.
and I just joined John's program maybe, I would say, less than a month ago. So
Okay.
the ones I'm targeting is accountants. You want me to tell you all of them, or just one?
No, let's just use I just want to do it as an example. Can you guys see the LinkedIn search? Is it on my desktop?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So accountants, and where at?
Texas.
Texas.
South Texas, I guess.
Okay. There it goes. All right. 20,200 accountants inside of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you can get more specific than that. Is Houston?
Yeah. For example, San Antonio, or
Let's use it.
yeah, that's closer to where I'm at. Yeah.
There you go. 1,169 accountants in San Antonio, Texas. Okay. And clicking in them, then you're able to go, right? Here's exactly who they are, Sam, that are on LinkedIn. So it gives you a fantastic overview of the accountants in San Antonio, Texas that you can now, okay? Now, sometimes in that, it's not always their current, necessarily their current position. Sometimes they've been an accountant in the past. And so you got to wait through a little bit of that. But in general, if you're looking for accountants in San Antonio, here's 1,200 of them that you can get a great start on. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Now, is
Okay,
there
great.
going to be a difference in the results if you search accountants versus accountant? Just
Yep. Yep. There we go. 7,700. Oh, good point.
okay, cool.
Yep. Even more. 7,700, Sam.
That's pretty good.
Go get them.
Yeah.
Go get them. Okay, great. Okay, bottom line though is you can find your exact target market on LinkedIn. Okay, makes it really, really powerful. Okay, if you know who those people are, they're there, and you don't have to work very hard. Okay, so got a profile, know who it is, who you're trying to target, and now it's time to get your messaging razor blade sharp. Okay, and so you need to understand what it is that you do and what it is that you offer. So what's your unique selling proposition? Okay, and so this is you versus what you do versus what your competitor does. Okay, it's also customer focused, meaning it needs to be a benefit for the customer and not just a feature. Okay, and then lastly, at the end of the day, because there are so many people who are invading the digital advertising space, functionally you're a commodity. Okay, because people have lots of different choices, and to a consumer, it's very hard to tell the difference between Sam and Christian and Derek and Brett, and right, we've all got nuances and stuff, but to them it can seem the same. And in a commodity market, most people feel that price is a differentiating factor. Okay, we know that to not be true because there's a lot of people who are terrible at advertising and getting results for their customers. Okay, but you need to spell that out. What is it that you do that's different? Okay, what is your unique selling proposition? So you want to kind of pare that down, because you're just going to get asked point blank in these sales conversation is, why should somebody go with you over a competitor? Okay. All right, a couple examples. FedEx, when it absolutely positively has to be there overnight. M&M's, melt chocolate melts in your mouth, not your hand. Avis, we're number 2. We try harder than you. De Beers, a diamonds, or okay, right. Bottom line is, figure out what it is that you're going to do. Right, this is your elevator speech. This is your pitch. This is okay. This is what makes you you and why somebody should choose you over your competitor. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and real quick on that.
Go.
That one, from what I've seen, a lot of people overlook that step, the USP. And especially when you're doing cold direct outreach, that is going to be, or cold advertising or cold calling or anything, that is going to be such a huge piece of what makes whatever you're doing successful. So you want to put some serious thought into what your USP is and look at it from your customers or your client's point of view of what did they want. Like I saw Derek's was good. It was, do you know where you're, like there's, what was it? There's a certain amount of people looking for a home. Do you know their names?
Yep. Can you name them? I can.
I do.
Yep.
And so that's good because now that's your USP, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So people are like, okay, this guy, he's in my industry clearly. He knows where my customers are and he's going to tell me. So that I'm sure is a lot better than if your profile said, would you want more, would you like to sell more homes? Message me. It's just so vague.
Yeah.
Or I help mortgage brokers. Is that who you're working with?
Mm-hmm.
I help mortgage brokers get more deals. It's just so vague. The way that you've phrased it generates a lot of curiosity and it gives certainty. So it's strong. And you have to make sure that whatever you're doing, your USP is always really strong. So put some thought into it and study USPs because it's gonna make a big difference. So yeah, definitely a good point there.
Yeah, and absolutely don't put your digital advertising agency, right? Or you do that's what you do, and it's nothing about what it is that your customers paying or how you can solve their problem, right? I mean, they don't. The ones who already know and understand advertising are already working with people who are professionals in the industry. So part of your challenge is relaying what it is that you can do for them to solve their pain. And they really don't care how you're going to do it. Some of that nuts and bolts are you have to give them in the sales process, right? But if you're going to solve their pain and you can prove it to them, then they don't care. Sales is an exchange of value at the end of the day. Okay, good. All right. Okay, so now we've got a profile. We understand who our target market is. We know who we are and what it is that we do. And the first thing now we're going to do is we're going to connect kindly. Okay. Sometimes you have the ability to connect. Some people you're going to know, and that's how most people use LinkedIn. It's people that you know that you've ran into, kind of like Facebook in the way where you're friends with people. It's generally designed to be business contact oriented. Okay. Now you have the ability to reach out to people in order to connect with them. People that you know are obviously going to connect back. Right? LinkedIn also allows the ability to connect to second and third connections. What a second connection is if Brett's on LinkedIn and he's got 5,000 followers and Brett and I are connected, so Brett is my first connection, all the people that Brett is connected to are my second connections. Okay. I can reach out and connect to them. Now, LinkedIn, you're not able to just do that to do it to 10,000 people per day. LinkedIn is pretty strict on some of their limits. It's generally accepted that you can connect to about 100 people per day. Okay, and those, when you start, your ability to connect to people is a little bit smaller because your network is smaller. But as it grows, and this is a week's worth of time, as people connect back with you, then their network becomes your network. Okay. What most people do in this step is swing for the fence on the first date. Okay. And what I mean by that is we're so excited to reach out to people and tell them everything it is about us, right? I'm Derek Energeski. I help mortgage brokers. I can get you better results than the next guy. And let's set up an hour call, and right, it's just a connection message. Okay, so I'll show you some examples of what mine look like. Okay, so in my messaging, right, we'll use Dana. Okay, so today at 11:17, I connected to Dana and said, "Hey, Dana, I came across your profile and was impressed and thought we could benefit by being connected. I hope business is going well for you in the greater Denver area, Derek." That's it. Okay. Historically, 30%. I don't know Dana from Adam. Never met her. She's a connection through a connection in some way. Okay. Historically, 30% of people are going to connect back with you. Okay. 25 to 35%. Okay. It doesn't, those numbers, that's held true. It holds true on an almost daily basis. Okay. I connect with 100 people every day. Of those 100, I add about 30 to my connections every day, somewhere between 25 and 35. Okay. But it's not, I'm not swinging for the fence on the first pitch. Okay. I'm just connecting with somebody, right? Because if this is robotic, it just, we can tell, right, as people. And so we want to make this as human as possible. Okay. So we're just going to connect kindly. I found that this message works fantastic. There's some people who lead out a little bit stronger. I would say that from what I've seen, the guys who I've talked to that are doing this, they're going to see 25 to 35% connection back. Okay. If Christian, I think you said you were doing this, or maybe it was TC. Is that been your experience?
Yeah, it's been my experience. It's pretty good response. I think people know they have to be professional on LinkedIn.
Yep.
So I haven't had a single bad experience, and I've sent it to thousands of people. So
Yep.
Yeah. So Derek knows what he's talking about. Pay attention.
Okay. So it doesn't matter again. So you've got a target market. You're going to start reaching out. Now think about, I said before that this is electronic door knocking. Okay. So we knocked on 100 doors. Today, I knocked on 100 doors. I'm going to have 25 to 35% of those people open their door for me. Okay, those are the same numbers in cold calling. Those are the same numbers in selling newspaper going down the street. Okay, about 30% of people are going to open the door to allow you to start the conversation. Okay, of those, a smaller percentage are going to be actually interested in what it is that you have to say. Right? And that's okay. What this allows us to do is leverage our time, because I can send out 100 LinkedIn messages a whole lot faster than I can make 100 phone calls. Okay. I'm not saying that cold calling is not a viable use of outreach. I'm not saying that at all. Okay. But it's just the numbers are going to hold true. Okay. But it starts with a kind connection. That's it. Okay. A human connection. That's all there is to it. Okay. So if you want to write this one down, right, that's it. Or take a screenshot of it, or watch the replay, right? That's all it is. Okay. Hey, I'm impressed with your profile and background. I like to connect with you, as I'm always interested in professional partners. That's it. I get a lot of thanks, right, on my first message with right. Some of that is you got auto response buttons in LinkedIn, but I've never had anybody be like, "Who are you? Why are you contacting me?" It's never happened, right? And I've been doing this for 2 months now, so that's about 6,000 invites I sent out, not one. So very, very simple. Okay. Now that the individual has accepted your connection request, right? We've got 30 people who are going to accept our connection request. We're going to welcome with results. Okay. What's in it from a prospect scenario of, well, what's in it for me, or what can I do for you way of thinking of it. For example, Sam, let's use your accountant example, if you don't mind. It puts you a little bit on a hot seat. So as you're thinking about accountants, what is it that you can do for them? What is the result that you expect to be able to generate for them?
Clients, more leads. They're clients that can spend an average of $10,000 on their services per year.
Okay.
At least 10,000 on the, close to where they live. If they're in San Antonio, well, customers, they don't necessarily have to be from there, but qualified leads or customers.
Yep.
Not I guess they're perfect clients. Yeah.
Okay. In general, now background, because we're just using, how are you grabbing these guys? How are you going to find these guys? The qualified leads for them.
Business owners who
Yep.
spend at least or make at least $500,000 on their business.
Okay. And are you finding them? Are you going to do a Facebook funnel? Are you going to hit them up on LinkedIn?
I was using Facebook. Yeah.
Okay. Have you been able to? Have you started any campaigns at all? Have you generated any type of result?
No. That's
okay.
what I was
Yep.
gonna. John has suggested I talk to Brad. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So do you have an estimated ballpark of what it is you think it's going to cost to generate these?
You mean like per client? Like, for example, $40, $50 per lead, or?
Yep, correct. Yep.
Yeah, I would say around there, maybe around maybe 30 or 40 per lead.
Nice.
Yep. Good. Okay, so what's compelling? So if you think about, I'm the accountant. What would be an example of a result that you can say in a file, right? We've now connected on LinkedIn. What type of messaging do you want to get across to me that compels me to reach out back to you?
For example, quick question: how would you like to generate 30 leads or potential customers per month? Spending anywhere between 10 to 15,000 on your business. You want more information? Reply back or something like that.
Yeah, great. Okay, so a couple things. One is we want to make it human. Okay, so with this, it's a hey, thanks for connecting with me, or thanks for connecting so fast.
Well, yeah, I would of course make it a little more personal, but just a general idea of yeah.
Yep, absolutely right. Okay, another phrasing that I found that works really well is I've been able to generate fantastic results for accountants like you who are trying to add 1 to 2 additional customers per month to their business. Would that be of interest to you?
Yeah, that sounds, I think, a lot better.
No, that's okay, right? It's just it's a kind of a soft phraseology, right?
Yeah,
I've been able to get fantastic results for somebody like you. So kind of this social proof that hey, I work with other accountants, and I understand, right, that you don't have an accountant client yet, and that's okay, right? Who you bought the program from with should be your partner in this and helping you to achieve your first client.
Right. Yeah, the approach that I was doing, and what I guess script you could call it, what I was saying is through, like, for example, cold email, which is different. Through LinkedIn, needs to be more personal. Like you said, to sound more human.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. Okay, so that's just right. And so what you're trying to do again is you're just trying to get them. I like the phraseology, and this certainly isn't the only one, right? But would you be interested in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, or if you can handle more business, you're trying to get a yes out of them, even a small, right, a micro commitment of, well, of course they're interested in generating 1 to 2 additional. It's kind of a dumb question if you think about it, but everybody's interested in an additional client per month, and if they're not, they weren't going to be a target for you anyway, right?
Right. Yeah. I completely agree with you. What you're trying to get is a yes from them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Okay, that's exactly right. Okay, all right, good. That's a real good example. Okay. Okay, and then step 6. So we've sent a welcome, or we've sent a connection request. 30% of the people have connected back with us. Now we've we've welcomed them with a result, what it is that they can expect, And now we need to follow up, and follow up. Okay. And here's what I mean by this is every conversation should be directed towards a chat or a 15-minute discovery phone call of some sort. Okay. If they say, what's the cost? Okay. Your answer to that question should be, I don't even know what your situation is or if it's right for us to do business yet. I would suggest we have a 15-minute conversation where I can understand you better. Would that be okay with you? And then your link below, right? Your link to the Calendly link, which is you can get for free. I use HubSpot. It's got the same thing for meetings. But you direct every question back to your appointment, right? Back to setting appointment, back to setting appointment, and back to setting an appointment. Okay. I don't have oh yeah, I actually do. So I use HubSpot, and the reason that I use that is because for everybody who has sent me back a reply, now that people are first connections, you have the advantage of having their email address. Okay. You can see the email that they signed up for LinkedIn, and most of the time, it's not their business email address, it's their personal email address. Okay, we don't sign up usually for these services with our business email address. You have their personal email address. Okay, so I have a series of people who are, once they're interested, I put them as a connection into my autoresponder. They get an email from me, right? Not only do they get a LinkedIn response, but then they get an email. And then 3 days later, I have a LinkedIn message. So this sends a quick email to me. I just copy this in and put this in as the next LinkedIn message that I send them. And then 3 days later, if I still haven't got one, now they send another email with, hey, here's what you get. Here's why. 3 days later, we do another LinkedIn message. Okay, followed by another email. Okay, so this lets me move people into my funnel. I find about 25% of my appointments come from people who have indicated some type of interest and then don't sign up for on that calendar link for me right away. Okay, so about 25% of your appointments are going to come from that follow-up, that follow-up, that follow-up. Could be even higher than that. I'm just estimating. But don't make the mistake of thinking that the LinkedIn Messenger, that people treat it like Facebook Messenger or text messaging, where you just keep going back and back and back in conversation. It generally doesn't happen. There's very few people that I've engaged with that'll go back to back to back, returning message after message. And so when I started, I was treating it like Facebook Messenger or like text messaging, and it just didn't work that way. So every message back and forth should be directed towards the appointment, direct them towards the appointment, direct them towards the appointment. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
But that follow-up is so crucial in any vertical that you go after, but just in your sales process and LinkedIn's no different than that. You want to be using as many channels on them as you can absolutely get. I would say I get about every 3 days, I'll get somebody who says no thanks or I'm not interested, and I just take them off the list and I just restrict them so that I don't send them any more information. But I've had very, very little people or blowback from anybody on LinkedIn using this process. And this is, I would think, just leading with the result, I was nervous that people were going to push back right away, that it just doesn't happen. So I'll show you an example of one this morning, and this guy was just a.
And while you're looking for that real quick.
Yep.
I know when I was doing LinkedIn, and I haven't done it in probably the past year, and we haven't used it just because we have a paid campaign that works really well and gives us all the leads that we need right now. But when I was doing this, I wasn't doing it exactly the same like you're doing, but I did get some hate. And I usually get hate everywhere that I go, whether it's Facebook Messenger, LinkedIn, cold calling, cold email, actually dropping in on businesses, which we used to do, or even on our ad campaigns. That's probably where I get the most hate. But if you do get a little hate, like you shouldn't get much from this, but if you do get some, it's okay. It's usually because people are scared to put themselves out there, and so they've made some agreement that you're not supposed to do that and you're not supposed to bother people. And so since they're so uncomfortable about it, they want to put it back on you. So if you get that, don't take it personally. It's just issues that they're dealing with. But hopefully with this, you won't get much.
Yeah. Very, very few. And all the ones have been real cordial. No thanks. I'm not interested, etc. Okay. So this was somebody I connected with June 10th, so about 2 weeks ago, right? Gave him a result, text back. And this is the message I got back, right? And this is just an example of what not to do, right? I don't know what he's talking about. He's offered me a promo code, this is right. This is a list of everybody. This is an absolute just waste of my time and his time, right? This guy gets zero results with this. Just swinging for the fences, right? And he doesn't even know what game he's playing. I got that one. I was just like, I almost want to call him and help him. They're like, dude, like, are you seriously getting people to sign up to you, or talk to you, or even go to visit this website? Yeah, it's kind of okay. So here's what we talked about to generate 10 plus sales conversations per week. Killer profile. Okay, clean up your profile. Find somebody's that you like. Just functionally copy it, right? Like put your verbiage, use your words, but use their format. But create a killer profile. Okay, laser focus on your target market. If you haven't done that, you can't be everything to all people. That doesn't mean don't take on customers and don't get profitable, right? And get yourselves to a point where you're sustaining yourselves. That's not what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, the best businesses know who it is that they want to work with, and then they work with those people. It's just a more fun way to do business, and it's a whole lot more profitable. Get your messaging razor blade sharp. Okay, really work on your messaging, your USP, so that you know what it is that you do. Don't overlook the importance of that. It's at the end of the day, men, you're a commodity. And you have to separate yourself from the pack, and a USP is one way to do that. Connect kindly with people. Don't swing for the fences on the first date. Okay, just hey, I'm looking to connect to add professional partners. Right, that's all you got to do. The second message, once they've connected back, the welcome with the result. Now this is where it is that you're going to hit the ball and get on base with them. Okay, and then step 6, the follow up. Aiming everything towards a conversation, right? Everything is towards your Calendly link. And the other thing that we found is that I have about a quarter of my people are no-shows, and I firmly believe that is because they are scheduling the appointment. That also helps that they get reminders on their calendars. But most of my people, I would say about 1 of 4 are no-shows. So them actually scheduling the appointment, one, makes them show up because they get a bunch of reminder stuff. But 2, it automatically puts you in the position of authority because they're scheduling your time. Okay, so it works really fantastic from a follow side, but direct everything towards that. Good. Okay, with that, questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
Rod here. So I've been doing this process for a while, and how do you find the filtering and the keywords to use on LinkedIn? Like, do you have any tips on getting more advanced? Because I found that it can be a bit of a hit or miss. Like, let's say you type solar.
Yep.
And you end up getting, like, you send out your messaging sequence, and then you end up getting, like this, I don't know, IT company that has solar in their name or something like that. Like it's.
Yep.
Yeah. So do you use any type of like Boolean? I've looked into that a little bit, but I haven't really implemented it.
Yeah. So you can use the Boolean features in your search, which will really allow you to narrow it down. So you can highlight just the people that you want. The other problem or issue that you'll face is you'll have sales reps, or you'll have mid-level managers or guys who are in production that have got nothing to do with the people that you want to go after. So when you target when you do the owners or directors or a little bit higher in title, you'll find that your response rate stays the same, as in you'll continue to get between 25 and 35% of people who connect back with you, but your conversation numbers will go down a little bit because it's just a little bit higher. So they don't engage quite as much. Generally, that's a timing and a follow-up issue, though, Rod. So that once they're connected with you, and if they didn't respond to that first set of messaging, I move mine then go to an automated email series that follows up over the course of the next 4 weeks. They get hit again on days 7, 15, 23 in LinkedIn with my follow-on series that pairs with my email. So that I kind of answered a little bit different question. You just need to use the Boolean to tighten up on your search criteria, right? And aim for the
as you were talking, I actually just realized something that I can do. Yeah. As well. Like you can do because I might be sending the connection message, the initial connection message to targeted, like it's not as soft as you.
Sure.
Which I think is a better idea, to do a softer one, and then I can go in and see who accepted the connection and then kind of filter there and say, okay, this is actually somebody in the market I'm looking at that I want, and then continue the messaging. I might be automating it a little bit too much.
Too much. Yeah, sure. The other way you could do it is if you just hit the company, and then you could just search for the company and add those people into, so you can hit the whole company at one time. That might be another way to get to the right person as well. Just another way to take an eagle at it.
Right.
Yep.
Cool. Thanks.
Yep.
Oh, one other question. Are you using HubSpot for the follow-up inside LinkedIn as well, or just for the email?
Yep. I use HubSpot just for the email. So I don't know of a good CRM that can do LinkedIn messages. If you've got one.
I have one that I recently started using that's really good. It's called JetBuzz.
JetBuzz. Okay.
Yeah, look into it. It's very good. It uses the API, so it's you're not using a Chrome extension or any sort of anything like that. And it has a decent web interface that you go and you can send out the welcome message and the follow-up messages.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's really good.
Great. Any other questions?
Yeah. What happens if you send too many connection requests?
Oh, great. Yep. So there are no known published limits, but the generally accepted practices are 100 connections per day. You can send 100 connection requests per day. And I think the maximum that you can have outstanding, meaning messages that are connection requests that haven't been accepted, is 3,000. And after that, you're no longer able to send any. Those could just be deleted, no problem. So the first time that LinkedIn will just give you a warning, and you won't be able to get into your account. They just stop access to you. And I think you get 2 or 3 warnings. So the total number of actions on LinkedIn is 500 per day. So that could be if I browse a profile and then I send a connection request, that's 2 actions. You can have about 500 a day as a generally recognized limit before LinkedIn will start to throttle your account.
And I also, I've had my account once blocked from, I don't know if I think I couldn't log in at all. It was like, you're blocked. And then because I had Sales Navigator, I just sent them an email and I said, hey, I'm using your service to connect with people.
Yep.
So it took a day and a half or something, and it was fine.
Yeah. The other piece on that is if people with your connection requests remark, I don't know you, then over some, and I don't know what the threshold is, but they just say, hey, I got this connection request and I don't know this person. They have the option to do that. Then at some threshold, same thing. They'll start to throttle your account on that. So if you're new, like I think Sam said, you don't have a LinkedIn account. If you just open one tomorrow and started sending 100 connection requests tomorrow, that would look suspicious. You got to warm it up a little bit over the course of a 2 to 4 week period where you do 10, and the next day you do 20 and 20 and 20 and 30 and 40. warm it up a little bit. Good question.
Yeah, I do have one. I just haven't used it.
Oh, that's fair. Okay. Yep.
I had a question. Can the kind of similar to what you guys were talking about? Can your account get shut down or for sending too many messages or no?
Yeah. So you can. So you get about 500 actions. So that can include connections. That can include messaging your first contacts. That can include browsing profiles. The amount of searches that you're able to do. So I use Sales Navigator as well. I think it's $50 or $60 a month in order to be able to get to a high level of detail. You don't need that. You can do a free search for accountants, Sam, and connect to them inside San Antonio. You won't be able to see all 7,700 like I did when I pulled up the Sales Navigator. Okay, you could probably be able to see, I don't know, 500, 1,000 maybe at most, but that would still be a good starting point for you.
Okay.
Yep. Just do a quick Google search for what are the LinkedIn limits, and that'll about tell you. And it's both the beauty and the downside. Because it's limited. I don't think that I can go above the current response rate that I'm getting because I just can't reach out to any more people. So as I want to go from 10 to 12 sales appointments per week to 20, those aren't going to come from LinkedIn in general. Maybe as my follow-up kicks in a little bit here, I'll see maybe a rise up to 15-ish. But to fill those other hours in a day, that's where Facebook would have to come in, or some other type of strategy to fill the remaining time slots that are on my calendar. So it is kept. The beauty of that, though, is that it's kept, as I mentioned, it's kept LinkedIn generally free from spamming. Right, spam is generally not too much of an issue, which has kept it right because people are still responding to messages, and at some point, if spam gets crazy, they'll just stop. Right, the responsiveness and messaging will just stop, and marketers like ourselves will have ruined it for everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Great. Any other questions?
Yes,
Okay.
I had one.
Go ahead.
Sales Navigator, I haven't used that before. Can you target companies based on their annual revenues?
Yep, absolutely. Let's pull it up here. So we got headcount. Oh, I thought there was a. Oh, I might be wrong on that. Function. Just pull them out real quick. No, maybe not.
Okay, thanks for checking.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you used to be able to.
I thought so too.
Is it maybe a company search instead of people search or something?
Yeah, maybe.
Also, Christian and Rod, if you guys know anything about that, feel free to chime in.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, so it was in the account search. So revenue.
There you go. All right, cool. Yep. Thank you.
Oh, and even department.
Oh, I actually did not know that.
I didn't either.
I've been wanting to be able to search by revenue for a long time. Sorry, where did you go? I missed the screen for a second.
It was in, okay, so here's the leads and here's the accounts. It was in accounts.
Oh, because it's focusing on the business side of things.
There you go.
Oh. But then would the message, the list that you get, is that going to go to the page, like the business page, or
I think it's the people who work here. So let's just click into IBM.
But still, if you cross the information with, you know, if you get the leads list, and then you have, you know, let's say you get 100 leads, and you want to just see how much the company is making a year, you can go in there and check that.
I would think, I mean, the whole point of this is to be able to get to the people who are at that company. So I see no reason why it doesn't allow us.
Yeah, because for me, I'm my other business. I have another business, but it's business to business, so it's search by industry with companies greater than, say, 10 million in revenue.
Yep. Yeah, you should absolutely, like, this is prime for B2B sales. Like, no, right. If you can define your target market, oh my gosh, you should be killing it on LinkedIn. Absolutely killing it.
All right, good presentation. Thanks for.
As an example, I got a young guy I'm working with down in Alabama. He's a mortgage broker, and he's using LinkedIn to reach out to realtors, which is completely backwards. Typically, no realtor needs a mortgage broker. Every broker needs a realtor. He's reaching out to realtors on LinkedIn, and he's gotten, in 2 weeks, he's had eight. I think he's 8 people now that say, yeah, I'd love to refer business to you, which is just absolutely crazy. So he's just using it as a professional growth network. He's killing it.
Nice.
Good. Okay, any other questions? Okay. All that being said, if you're like, hey, I need to learn more about this. This obviously wasn't a complete overview. This is catapulted me to the point where it's like, okay, I've got to dump some stuff off on Brett and getting towards that point. There's a Linked Up Growth Academy is a do-it-yourself option, covers all this stuff in general. Pretty awesome. Step-by-step video instructions, Facebook group for questions type stuff. It's absolutely fantastic. Usually $2,000, but for Brett's guys, $995. If you want to do, if you're like, hey, I just need help, I don't want to learn this and I want to do it, and you want a done with you option, I do that as on the side with my mortgage stuff. We develop the messaging together. We do the automatic connections and responses. You and I will work an hour per week on any support or questions that you need. That'll do 3 to 5 calls per week to start, and I'll money back guarantee that. You do need Sales Navigator with it. And then a done for you option is the same as everything is a done with you, but we just take the messaging a whole lot farther. We brush it out, not only the automation and the connection, but then we take out the LinkedIn messaging as well as we add the email messaging in there with that. And that will ramp up to 5 to 8 calls per week. Again, same thing. If it's not something you're like, I was happy with this, then I'll give you your money back on that. Just as those are options that are out there, right? Not everybody has the ability to go in and learn it, or it's something new. So these are options that I do offer.
Will you be sending this presentation out to us, or how do we access it?
Yeah, I think Brett, you recorded, right? So you got.
Yep. Yeah, I can send you guys who are on here the recording.
Thank you.
Does that help you, Tim?
Yeah, it does. I'm interested in this page, so it's been a good discussion here today.
Okay. You can also probably just grab a screenshot if you're on your computer.
Yeah, I did that,
Okay.
But that's,
Cool.
Yeah, and Tim, if you want to talk more, even just to go over a couple things or any specific examples, there's just hit the link. Just throw a half hour on my calendar, and we'll do it. Happy to do it.
All right, right on. Thanks.
Yep.
And Sam here in the chat, he says, how long will the offer be good for? I think I muted Sam, so maybe he couldn't unmute himself because there's a little bit of feedback there.
Oh yeah, sorry. No problem. No, for Brett's guys, this is good, right? This doesn't go away, so this is good.
Okay. Yeah, one of my lights is going crazy. It's making the ceiling lights. It's making some noise. That's for the feedback.
Mm.
Yeah, no worries. And like I said, test this out yourself, right? Go try it. You got enough to be to be dangerous with it, right? I've given you some juicy tidbits here. Go try it out, right? Test everything. Boom. Okay. If nothing else, hey fellas, thanks for your time. This I hope you learned something. Hope you pick something up. Make sure as you make it, you pay it forward too. Doing good things for other people. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks so much,
Cheers.
Derek.
Thanks very much.
Hey,
Yeah.
thanks, Derek. This is great.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Derek.
everybody, for
Appreciate it,
being on.
man.
Any questions? Derek, do you have,
Yo.
is your email around here anywhere?
Oh.
Or what's
Yeah,
the
no.
best way to reach you besides
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that too.
Yeah. So hit me at Derek at thecustomercatcher.com.
You want to just type that in to the
will.
notes there?
Yeah.
Or you could put it in the chat.
Chat.
Well, if you type it in the notes there, then it'll be on the recording. I don't think the chat goes into the recording.
Oh, got it. The annotate? Is that it? Notes? Oh,
Or just maybe make a new slide.
there we go. Stop you thing. Boom. There we go.
Perfect. All right, awesome.
Boom.
Thanks, Derek, for sharing all of this with us. That's totally awesome. Anybody wants someone to do it for them, I think working with Derek is a good option. And I think that's it. I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up. It's been just about an hour. So thanks everyone for being here, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Later on.
See ya.
Thank you.